At first glance, the town looks like it's falling asleep. A single main road, a closed movie theater, houses with peeling paint and satellite dishes pointed at the sky like quiet prayers. If you passed through, you would never stop. And if you did stop, you would never guess that this place once helped steal millions of dollars from people all over the world. This is the story of how a small town became the center of a global scam network. Not because it was evil, but because it was forgotten. It starts, like many stories do, with work disappearing. Factories shut down. Farms stopped hiring. Young people left, and the ones who stayed learned to stretch paychecks thinner every year. By the time smartphones arrived, desperation had already settled in. People weren't dreaming about success anymore. They were just trying to stay. Then came the opportunity. At first, it sounded harmless. Remote work, online marketing, customer outreach. A few locals were hired to make phone calls or send messages. The scripts were vague, but the pay was better than anything else in town. For some, it meant fixing a car. For others, keeping the lights on. No one used the word scam. They were told they were helping customers unlock funds, recover accounts, verify identities. Small lies wrapped in official language. And because the victims were faceless, living in other countries, the moral distance felt enormous. You weren't stealing from a person, you were talking to a screen. Over time, the operation grew. Neighbors hired neighbors. Cousins trained cousins. Empty buildings became call centers with blackout curtains. Servers hummed in basements. The town's internet traffic quietly spiked, even as its population shrank. Experts who later studied the case say this is how modern fraud really works. Not through master criminals in dark rooms, but through ordinary people trapped in shrinking economies. Technology doesn't create the crime. It connects it. And the town became very good at it. Victims were elderly retirees in Canada, small business owners in Australia, immigrants in the United States sending money to fake government agencies. The scripts evolved. The technology improved. Caller IDs were spoofed. Accents were practiced. Fear was weaponized. One former worker described it as acting. You play a role, you follow the lines, and when the call ends, you tell yourself the person on the other side will be fine. Until one day, someone wasn't. A woman collapsed after losing her life savings. A man took his own life after being told he owed money he never had. The stories began appearing online. Screenshots, recordings, voices shaking with panic. That was the moment the silence cracked. A local school teacher recognized a voice in one of the leaked recordings. A cousin, a former student, someone she knew had a kind heart. She didn't go to the police, not at first. In towns like this, you don't. You talk quietly. You ask questions. You realize how deep it goes. By the time authorities stepped in, the network had already started to fracture. Some people fled. Others destroyed equipment. A few tried to justify what they'd done, saying they were victims too. And in a way, they were. Criminologists point out that scam hubs often emerge where oversight is weak and options are limited. The people at the center are rarely the ones making real money. They're replaceable, disposable. If they leave, someone else will take their place. When arrests finally came, they didn't feel like justice. They felt like loss. Families were split. Children watched parents led away. The same town that once depended on the income now carried the shame. Reporters arrived. Headlines were written. And then, just as quickly, the world moved on. But the town didn't. Today, many of the buildings are empty again. The internet traffic is back to normal. And people don't like to talk about what happened. Not because they don't care, but because caring hurts. One former worker said something that stays with you. I never met the people I hurt, he said, but I think about them more than anyone I know. That's the uncomfortable truth of modern crime. It doesn't always look like villains and victims on opposite sides of a line. Sometimes they're connected by cables, by algorithms, by economic forces no one person controls. A small town didn't wake up one day and decide to scam the world. It slowly slid into a role the world made available. And once it was there, leaving was harder than staying. The calls have stopped now. The scripts are gone. But the damage remains, on both ends of the line. And somewhere, when an unfamiliar number lights up a phone screen, The echo of this town still lingers, not as a warning about criminals, but as a reminder of what can grow in the spaces where opportunity disappears, and silence feels safer than speaking. Because the most dangerous networks aren't built on greed alone, they're built on need.